The village of Iganmu Hill woke each morning to the same quiet ritual. Smoke rose from clay kitchens. Roosters announced the sun before it appeared. Women swept red earth yards with long brooms made of palm ribs. But every morning, before the first cooking pot boiled, one man climbed the hill. His name was Ayo, and on his back was always a basket. Inside the basket was fire. Not flames dancing wildly, no. Just a clay pot filled with slow-burning embers, glowing like tiny red stars in the early dawn. The people of Iganmu needed that fire. In those days, fire was not something you struck from a match. It was something you guarded. If a household's flame died, they had to walk to the hill to borrow embers from Ayo. So every morning, Ayo climbed the steep hill, lit the village furnace, and carried embers down so every family could cook their food, warm their homes, and start their day. It was tiring work. The path to the hill was steep and rocky. Thorn bushes grabbed at his clothes. Harmattan winds stung his eyes, but Ayo never complained. Because long ago, when Ayo was a boy, a terrible storm had swept through Iganmu. Rain fell for 3 days. The village fires died. Cold crept into every home. Children cried from hunger because no one could cook. And in that desperate time, it was Ayo's father who climbed the hill, struck new fire from stone, and carried it back for everyone. His father had said something Ayo never forgot.
Some people wait for warmth, my son. Others carry it.
Years passed. His father died, and the fire became Ayo's responsibility. At first, the villagers praised him.
Ayo, without you we would freeze. Oh.
Thank you so much.
Women gave him yams. Children ran to greet him. Elders clapped when he passed. But praise is a strange thing. It fades faster than smoke. Soon the village grew comfortable again. People stopped noticing the man carrying fire. Some even began to complain. One morning, a trader grumbled.
Why does it take so long? My pots have been cold since morning.
If he cannot carry fire faster, someone else should. That is all I am saying. You are right, oh.
And one young man laughed loudly in the marketplace.
Carrying embers. That is not even real work. My grandmother could do that.
Ayo heard it, but he said nothing. He simply lifted his basket the next morning and climbed the hill again. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Then, one evening, something happened. Ayo fell sick. The climb had grown harder with age, and that night fever burned through his body like wildfire. He could barely stand. So the next morning, no one climbed the hill. The village woke as usual. Roosters crowed, women swept their yards. But when the first cooking pots were placed over the hearth, there was no fire. People waited.
Perhaps Ayo is late. He is coming,
Someone said. They waited longer. Still, no embers.
Where is he?
My children have not eaten.
Someone should go and check.
Finally, a group of men walked to Ayo's house. They found him lying weak on a woven mat, sweat pouring down his face.
You did not climb the hill.
My legs refused today.
The men looked at each other. The hill suddenly seemed much steeper. One of the men shrugged.
Well, someone else should go up then.
But no one moved. Climbing the hill meant waking before dawn. It meant braving thorn bushes. It meant balancing burning embers on your back without letting them die. It meant work, real work. Finally, a young boy stepped forward. His name was Sola. He was barely 16.
I will go,
he said. The elders looked at him in surprise.
You are just a boy. If Ayo can carry fire for years, I can carry it for one morning.
So before sunrise, Sola took the basket. The climb was worse than he imagined. The hill felt endless. Sharp rocks cut his feet. Wind pushed against him. More than once, he nearly turned back.
Just
A little further. A little further.
But when he reached the top and struck fire from the old furnace, something changed. As he carried the glowing embers down the hill, he noticed something he had never seen before. The entire village was waiting. Children watched the path eagerly. Women stood beside empty hearths. Old men leaned on walking sticks. All eyes followed the basket on his back. And suddenly, Sola understood.
This is not just a chore. This is all of them.
This wasn't just a chore. It was responsibility. It was service. It was leadership. When he reached the center of the village and placed the embers down, people rushed forward. Soon smoke rose from every home again. Food cooked, warmth returned. And for the first time, the villagers truly saw what Ayo had been carrying all those years. Not just fire, but the life of the village itself. That evening, the elders gathered, and the village chief spoke.
For years, we thought Ayo carried a basket. But today, we saw the truth. He carried all of us.
From that day forward, something changed in Iganmu. Ayo no longer climbed the hill alone. Every week, a different villager carried the fire. The young, the strong, even the ones who once mocked him. Because they had learned something important, something simple, something powerful. The moral: many people enjoy the warmth of success, progress, and opportunity, but few are willing to climb the hill and carry the fire. And yet, every thriving village, every successful business, every great movement in history exists because someone chose to carry the fire when no one else would.